what do you call it?
Okay, well, welcome to our monthly police talk. Our crowd's starting to get smaller, so I'm getting a little concerned. There was times we had 15 or 20, and now
I
we're
think
down
so,
to
yeah.
6 or
A lot
8.
of the people that sit there, they don't want to walk across.
Okay.
If they were there, they would be there, you know what I mean?
Some people are still doing
They're
it
too
too.
full.
Gotcha.
So
That way
they're,
there'd be more people, they
Okay.
don't come.
Well, I know we've been doing this for about a year and a half, and I always try to get a different topic. And several months ago, I talked with somebody privately about the emergency response team. What's going on in our country? I mean, how do we handle these situations? You had an active shooter class a week ago, correct?
Yep.
So the person we're going to have here today do a little presentation and talk about this is Brandon Gillespie. Brandon's been with us for about 11 years. He's from Wellston, so he knows Rich and Ruth really well. But Brandon is part of our emergency response team. So what is that? We have a mutual aid agreement that covers, I believe, 19 counties in northern Michigan. Each one of those counties send representatives. Manistee County has just one. We send Brandon. So anytime there's a high-risk situation, an arrest warrant to be made, a barricaded gunman, anything like that, we may tone off the team, and members from all different counties will come and join Brandon. And I'll let you tell him how they train and how they get together and all that. But if you think about it, in this day and age, what we have going on, we really need this team because your lowly sheriff's department just can't handle everything on its own. So when it comes to high risk, we use this team. So I'm going to turn this over to Brandon. Brandon today has brought some different equipment. He's going to talk to you about it, what they use, why they use it, and I'll let him have the floor from here. So this is Brandon Gillespie.
Hi guys. Piggybacking on what the sheriff said, essentially our mutual aid agreement covers like the whole tip of the mitt, to a certain extent. Not just counties are involved in our teams, it's counties, some of the smaller townships that have departments, city PDs. It's broken up into 3 actual teams that have anywhere from 12 to 15 people each. Currently right now on my team, we are considered Team 3. We cover Wexford, Cadillac, Missaukee, Osceola, Roscommon, and of course Manistee County. We have about 13 guys on the team right now, and we actually have one guy from Richfield Township. They have a small PD which is located by Higgins Lake in Roscommon County. However, since there's only 13 guys a team for the whole tip of the mitt, you do the math, that's about 39 people for the whole tip of the mitt. So if something serious is going on, for instance in Onaway, up by the bridge, we'll get toned out as a sport team because some people are working, some people are on vacation, some people can't make it due to kids or whatever. So we try to get as many people there as we can. So we're not just standard in these counties, in these areas. We sometimes assist, even far east is Atlanta, Hillman, Alpena. And as far north as, right at the bridge, Mackinac County. Granted, Manistee is about as far south as we go. Mason County below us, they have their own team. And basically straight across to Tawas area. That area is how far we go to the east. As John said, we do anything high risk or that might need people with specialized training. We do a lot of trainings throughout the year. At the very least, we train once a month. And then every fall, around the first part of September, we spend a whole week in Camp Greenland doing training. Sprinkled in throughout the year, we do other specialized trainings. If we have the funds and the means to get time off work and stuff to do it, then we obviously train as much as we possibly can. Since I've been on the team, I've been on the team 5 years. I'd say probably had anywhere from 25 to 30 different call-outs we've had. Like John said, if it's a barricaded gunman, say somebody's having a mental health issue or depression or something, and they barricade their house shut with weapons or whatever, and I'm not coming out. And what we do is we'll get there, and our biggest thing is we do a lot of training. We have all these fancy guns and stuff, and that's what everybody thinks about and all that, but our biggest main thing is we want it to end peacefully without anybody getting hurt. So we have 6 negotiators, and that's our big thing. We'll just make sure that the person doesn't leave there trying to harm somebody else, and we'll try to just talk with them and talk with them. Sometimes they last days, sometimes hours, but main thing is we want to resolve everything peacefully. Our last resort is obviously anything lethal force or for trying to harm somebody or take their life. We do high-risk warrants. If we know somebody's a flight risk that's gonna run, or possibly has weapons, or anything like that, and the regular road patrol guys are just not enough of them with specialized training to do it, we'll do that. We've even done some crowd control, and like dignitary or very important person details, such as funerals, where we're having a lot of people protest, law enforcement officers get killed in the line of duty. We've had response where we're there on hand just in case people get carried away about that. We do man tracking, which is if somebody flees into like a wooded area, we're specialized in being in formation and tracking a person, even if there's no snow or nothing, with K9s and everything else, tracking and trying to locate them. Throughout the teams, there's many different specialized things that you can take on as yourself if you're interested in doing it. For instance, like our team has a sniper. I'm personally not the sniper. I'm more into the entry team, as far as if we ever had to make entry to barricade gunman, hostage situation, whatever. That's why I have this. This gentleman was asking me earlier if it was a 12 gauge, and it is. And it's not used for anything, believe it or not, as far as lethal force or harming somebody. I'm actually what you call a shotgun breacher. So if somebody were barricaded in here and fortified this doorway or had it locked and we couldn't breach the door with our normal hand tools, we actually have specialized rounds that go in this gun. They're made of powdered tungsten, and it's just a real heavy metal that's like flaked. And what you do is you use this weapon to defeat the locks, or you can actually defeat the hinges. And like I was explaining to him, if I was standing here gonna shoot this lock with this shotgun, and bad guy or good guy or kid was standing on the other side of the doorway, they might get hit with little pieces of wood or something in the doorway, but the material that comes out of this weapon actually turns right into powder. So it doesn't hurt anybody on the other side of the doorway. It's a safe way to get in if you have to use it. That's the only time I really use this, is for that shotgun breaching. We have all sorts of different tools we use. I don't have them all here today, because we have an armored vehicle. It's called a Bearcat. It holds like 8 guys on the inside. It's completely bulletproof. It can withstand rounds from 50 caliber machine gun. That's what we do a lot of our transporting with, just for safety reasons. We have robots. We have 2 different robots. We have one robot you can throw into a building and drive it around. It's got a camera on it, and you see what's going on. We also have a big robot that you can deploy. You actually have to drive it into the building, and then it can actually drive downstairs, upstairs. It's got audio. You can hear what's going on. You can see what's going on, and you can actually talk with the subject. You hit an intercom button, and I can drive the robot, say, to the senior center where you just came from. I could be standing here, drive it over there, hit the intercom button, and say, "Sir, show us your hands. Come on out. We're just here to help." And he could interact with us via that robot. Like I said, a lot of money goes into this, but everything's for a reason and has its purpose. Like even everything you see on my vest here, none of it is just for show or to look cool. A lot of grant money, a lot of funding goes into this. We have pole cameras, like if somebody's in an attic, we can extend this pole camera and check the attic with the camera instead of putting a human being there to stick their head in there and look around and possibly get hurt. We have mirrors. We use a lot of mirrors instead of just going through a doorway. We'll utilize mirrors to look down the hallway, make sure everything's safe before we actually enter ourselves. And then we have a ton of less lethal stuff. We have, like I said, way prior to ever using lethal force, we'll use less lethal means, whether it be deploying gas, any sort of pepper spray or anything like that that's going to cause a person to be very uncomfortable and make it as uncomfortable for them barricaded in there and force them to come out so that we can get them help and get them treated. We actually have to carry on us at all times gas masks in case they deploy that gas so that we can breathe and see and everything. So they're on our backs because we're usually in a line, and I'll take the guy in front of me out, he'll hand it to him, guy behind me will hand me mine, we'll gas mask up, and then throw the gas in there. Hopefully we get compliance that way. Like I said, we have probably off the top of my head 10 different tools that we can use that are less lethal before we use our patrol rifle or handgun in a lethal force situation. So like I said, it looks a lot like full-blown military operation, search and destroy and kill and everything, but way before we go to that stuff, we try to use all means necessary, talking, You know, we'll shut off the heat sometimes, it's winter time, shut off the heat, make the person uncomfortable, make them cold, make them come out to us so that we don't have to risk our lives going in to get them. Shut the power off, whatever it takes. Just get them to come out so that they don't make a bad decision if we come in and try and hurt us, and then in return we have to hurt them. Like I said, everything on here has a purpose. And again, another less lethal option we have is I carry the taser. I'm sure you guys have seen these on TV. They're neuromuscular incapacitator. Shoot somebody, it's going to lock them up. They're going to fall over. We utilized one of these here in the city of Manistee. 3 years ago we had a call out. Guy came at our deputies in Century Terrace. Came at them with knives, slammed the door shut. We got toned down. We made entry. He had the 2 butcher knives, came at us. I deployed the taser. He fell down. We got the knives away from him, handcuffed him. Never even went to the hospital. He was completely healthy. As opposed to guys coming at you with a knife and we have to shoot them with a lethal force weapon. All of our deputies carry these, so they're used on my team as well as on the road. State police, all agencies, just about every agency in the United States has these nowadays. Just for that reason, that we'd rather end it peacefully than have to take somebody's life. Obviously, I'm here with extra ammunition, 2 magazines for the handgun, 2 magazines for the rifle, a knife in case I have to cut vest off somebody, or wiring, or anything you might need. It's not a knife intended to harm somebody else with. Medical scissors, in case somebody does receive a wound of some sort, cutting their clothes off. These will cut like a coin in half, believe it or not, if you have a pen, you cut it in half of these. It's pretty fascinating. In here, you might not be able to see it, but this little pin. Has anybody been in the military here? Anybody? Richard, in the military right here?
Yeah, you were in the, well, he was in the.
Yeah, he was over in Korea, right?
Okinawa.
Okinawa, okay, sorry. This is for one of our tools. It's called a flashbang. It's just like a grenade, but it emits a ton of sound and a really bright light. And it just stuns you. You stand there, you don't know what's going on. And sometimes we use it as a diversion technique. So you always carry one of these on you in case you pull the pin out of it, and you go to use it, and then you don't have to. And you drop the other pin. You don't want that grenade just in your hands. So you put another pin in it so that you can keep it safe. We have communications. Like I said, there's going to be everything we do. Say we end up at a call out in Charlevoix County. We are there to work under the advisement of their sheriff or their highest ranking official on scene. Even the guys from Roscommon, when they come here, our team leaders and everything, they go based off whatever Sheriff Bodega tells them. You know, we'll tell them what we can do or what our options are, but before we do anything, we want them to be the ones to make the decision because it is their county. It is up to them ultimately to answer to whatever we do. So we all have communications from here to what would be the command post, where our team leader usually is in direct contact with the sheriff or whoever the highest ranking individual is of the county, make a decision telling us what to do while we're at the house. Obviously there's an earpiece, so you guys won't be able to hear them talking with me, but I can hear them just for keep it covert so nobody can hear all of our stuff that's going on. Like I said, we have the gas mask. Then if you look here, these 2 little tabs, if something does happen, hopefully it never does, but say you get shot or something, if I pull these 2 tabs, this vest will fall right off. It's so that they can get it off in a hurry to get trauma, you know, if you're experienced trauma, to get medical services to you. That's what these are for. I would demonstrate it, but it's a son of a gun and put it all back together.
How heavy is your vest, Brandon?
I would say somewhere around 50, 55 pounds with everything on it. We have obviously handcuffs in here. This is actually a tourniquet. In case somebody does receive a wound in one of their appendages, I can apply the tourniquet. We do have some more specialized training in the medical field as far as bullet wounds and what we're going to do to treat specifically bullet wounds that some people on the road, you know, don't necessarily get the same amount of training as we do on that. What this vest, like I said, other than being really heavy, it is rated to stop like a rifle round, to like a deer hunting rifle round that most commonly every house here in Manistee, probably dang near every house has a deer rifle in there. Back in the day, all the plates were made of just steel. Nowadays, they are made out of ceramic, which reduces weight, but it still has the same ballistic capabilities of stopping bullets. So, I mean, this looks like it's going to be really heavy, and if this were steel like they used to be, this would be significantly heavy. But as you can see, by being ceramic, it cuts a lot of the weight off. I mean, it's still heavy, but it's not like steel.
It's still heavy though.
Yeah, it is. But even our gloves and stuff, like, you know, they have protective hard knuckles on them. And right away people think, well, that's for punching people. Well, that's not the case at all. A lot of the tools we utilize, whether it be sledgehammers, rams, Halligan tool where you're priming, is to protect your hands. It's not just for assaulting somebody or making it worse on them, and so you don't break your fingers.
Hey, John, can I see it?
Other than, even like our boots, obviously they're non-conductive. There's a lot of people nowadays that dislike the police. Big thing we run into is gas. A lot of people are turning like all the propane on in their house. So if there's any spark or anything that they think is going to make it explode. Electricity, we run a lot of electricity, so our boots obviously are non-conductive, and all of our tools are non-conductive, so that if we do hit a power line or something inside a building, it's not going to electrocute us. We have, this is the helmet we wear. It's made on the same material as this plate you guys just held, so this will actually stop a rifle round as well. There's mounts on the side here where we can mount night vision to see at night, flashlights, cameras, whatever the case may be. But this is what we wear as far as helmets go. And like I said, all this stuff, you get what you pay for, don't get me wrong, but this stuff's outrageously expensive. Like, that helmet alone is probably around $900. This vest is upwards of the same. So, it costs a lot to get started up, but once you have it, you have it. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm glad they have it because it might save somebody's life someday. As far as the weapons go, this is just like, they started out issuing these guns in Vietnam as M16s. This is just a variant of that. It's considered an M4. Has classical stock. Mine, so I'm left-handed, I had to put an ambidextrous safety on it. It's got an optic on it with a red dot in it. And of course, flashlights. A lot of the stuff we do is low light or at night. And it has momentary on or even make pulse for more distraction. All our guys will carry one of these of some sort, not necessarily identical to this one, but in this day and age where bad guys are getting more ammunition and more bigger guns and everything, we gotta try to keep up with the Joneses in that aspect. This is the same handgun I carry on road patrol, which I'm not a full-time ERT guy. I work on the road, handling complaints and everything, just like everybody else until they need me. But this is the same thing that I would carry on the road that all the guys carry on the road. The only difference is this also has a flashlight on it. This is a 45 caliber. All the departments are different. We just so happen to carry 45 caliber handguns. And everything we do, due to flying debris and stuff, we have to wear ballistic eyewear so that if something like a piece of metal or bullet fragment or something hits, there's like safety glasses, like if you worked at PCA or Margaret, to protect your vision. Like I said, this is the gas mask. You want to see somebody that looks goofy? I'll show you somebody that looks goofy. When you put on the gas mask, you can't talk as well.
Oh, leave that on. I'm gonna get a picture of that. That's nice.
Yeah, that's,
He's never looked so good.
They always said I had a face for radio.
It looks like an extraterrestrial.
Hey, John.
Yeah, and actually this has ports in it where you can hook water right up there so you can leave this on and still hydrate. On the back here, this is where the gas mask goes. This is the radio. And actually, this is where your hydration bladder goes. You put a bladder in there, and it runs a hose up like a straw to your mouth so you can drink while you're out there. Because a lot of times it's in the summer and it's hot and stuff. Other than that, like I said, this is just the stuff I carry personally in my vehicle. But when we get to a scene, we actually have a large van that comes from Wexford County with all sorts of different shields. There's actually a ballistic blanket. It's bulletproof. And it's just a big heavy blanket, and you can use it as a stretcher to carry people out. So as you're carrying them out, if we do take fire or anything, at least there's still some bulletproof capabilities there. And like I said, there's all sorts of tools. We have a big shield for like an active shooter in a building, whether it be a factory, a school, or whatever. It's on wheels, where we can all get right behind it and just wheel it right down the hallway to keep us safe. Traverse City, you know, they're part of our group. They actually have a drone now, where they can fly a drone up in the sky and see everything that's going on. Every year it seems like we get better and better equipment, but every year it seems like the bad guys get better and better equipment too, so we're just trying to keep up the best we can and go from there. Do you guys have any questions?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, you showed a taser. Why hasn't someone developed a taser with like a dart gun? They could shoot a dart, and an actual dart would have a taser effect on a person, so you can get somebody from a farther distance and incapacitate them instead of kill them. Why has someone come up with something like that?
That's a good question. Ours come with a 25-foot long cartridge, so reasonably, I would say here to the wall, I can effectively hit somebody. But there again, does that take me completely out of harm's way? No. Taser is actually trying to develop a product. They started using it overseas in the military, testing out there as a 12-gauge round. And you shoot it, and it'll stick to the person's clothing, and wires will fall down. Well, upon impact, first thing anybody's going to do is, oh, that hurts, you know. Well, when they grab them wires, them are live wires, and that completes the circuit that incapacitates them. Now, they haven't made it this far to us yet, but there's stuff like that ongoing all the time. Because if that's the case, we have beanbag shotguns. We can shoot, 50, 60 yards with them. And it's a 12-gauge round with a beanbag in it. And it hurts like a son of a gun, I can tell you that. And we'll use that. Pepper ball, like a paintball gun with pepper, like red pepper in it. We use that. But yeah, we're constantly trying to evolve into something where it takes human life out of the equation to be hurt and try to use more technological means, or even, people hate to say it, but like canines. The reason police officers have canines is because we'd rather replace a dog than we would a human, unfortunately. So yeah, that's what we're always striving for, is get better and better to have stuff to keep us safer. Yes.
The reason why I thought it was interesting, because a long time ago, people used to have these little things they hold in their hand, and you get a shock,
Right.
Joke type thing.
Yeah, where you shake hands. And,
Yeah, just enough, so you think that one of those little devices could be put into like a dart gun, or a dart bullet or something, just enough to, he hits him and that's it, he's not able to do anything.
Right.
And you can take him out and without killing the person.
Exactly.
I mean, someone should think on that.
Oh, I know. And if I was smart enough to think on that stuff, I'd be a millionaire, like the people who invent this stuff. But I wholeheartedly agree. We actually had a demonstration just last week. Guy came to the sheriff's office, the sheriff and I met with him, and he had made a robot to keep right at schools for school shooting situations. And it actually can deploy, it's like a glue. And he explained it all to us in very, very, specific scientific words that we didn't really understand. But essentially the glue is strong enough where you can shoot it on a tire of a car and it disables the car, like immediately. It just locks everything up. And you can, same thing with a human, you can drive this robot allegedly up to a suspect, and it shoots out this glue, and they can't move, it locks them right up. And so they are constantly evolving, trying to come out with more or less lethal means before actually having to take somebody's life. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
When you do these, do you have to, do they do this stuff to you to know what it produces?
Oh, the vast majority of it, yes.
Do you?
I've been shot with a taser. They put you in a little house, it's called a gas house. They deploy all the gas we use, and you have to sit through it. Some people are, silly enough to get shot with the beanbag shotguns and stuff. But yeah, the vast majority of it we do because it makes it better for us. If we do have to testify, we can say, well, I know exactly what this feels like because I've had it done to me. And that's the type of stuff that we needed to get this guy under control. He was that far out of control. Anyone else? Go ahead.
I got one more question.
Oh, go ahead.
You were talking about the robots. I'm quite sure if we had a robot demonstration, probably when the weather gets warmer, There'd be a lot of people that come to see that.
Okay,
That would be one of the things, presentations to have.
Okay.
That would be,
yeah, you guys will like it. It's pretty fascinating. So like I said, they got a little TV screen on there, so you can see everything the robot sees. You can see in the dark, you can make it daylight. I mean, they're pretty fascinating, and I'll talk to the sheriff, and yeah, it wouldn't be a problem at all. I can get them up here. Like I said, the other one's just a little one. It's real light. You can throw it through like a window or whatever, but it's just got a camera on there, and you can drive it around, and before we go sticking our heads in there, you know, I'd rather have them shoot a robot than shoot us.
That vest is awful.
How do you?
Yeah.
Oh, we actually do, believe it or not. I mean, you might not be able to tell who my boyish figure, but we do a lot of physical training, a lot of PT and stuff, and you actually get used to it, and that's the thing why a lot of times we'll page out more people than we need, so that if you are somewhere for 4 or 5 hours, they can deploy somebody else to come relieve you. You take all your stuff off, get some food, get some water, relax for a little bit, and then 4 or 5 later you go in and relieve somebody else.
50 pounds.
But I'll put all this stuff back in there, and
Yeah, and then hold that bag up and let one of them.
yeah, you guys, as you leave, or want to come try and lift it, it's not
Yeah,
pretty.
you can walk up and try to hold it, yeah, you can come and look at the stuff too, but I had to carry it in for him.
Oh my jeez.
And to put that on you.
Yeah, it's what I mean, Harry, I take my
It's really bad. It's not bad this time of year, it's really bad when it's August or July.
Yeah, it's 100 degrees out,
Yeah.
90, yeah.
but isn't that way to limit your agility, because it does,
It does.
and
Yeah, and you don't go jumping over a fence or something like you normally do, I can tell you that. Sometimes you need a little boost.
You don't wear that all the time, do you?
No, just when we get the call outs.
Yeah.
I wear the same exact uniform the sheriff's wearing today when I normally patrol and work it.
And he keeps everything loaded right in his car, so if he has to go, for the most part, he's ready to roll.
Is he when they go over there?
Right, we have just one from the county. Now, he's talking about getting out because he's done it for 5 years. He's gonna be our new canine officer. So we're getting a new dog. Brandon's gonna get the dog here in just another week or so. Get to have the dog for a couple weeks, and he's going to training for 5 weeks. When he's finished, I will bring him back for one of these for the whole senior center. Hopefully we get a good crowd for that, because he's pretty excited about doing that.
something, yeah, I don't know what that's from.
Be careful, because I just want you to hold
I have
that.
to stand up.
Do that one.
It's heavy, wow.
Oh, boy.
How could you get over your head?
Oh my God, I'd be a goner with them. I'd be like,
Yeah.
You'll
pass. You'll pass, anybody else want to feel it?
I don't know.
You might want to stand up, so I don't want to hurt your back or anything.
That's why I said
Oh, my
stand
God.
up. Oh, my gosh.
You don't have any smaller versions?
No, unfortunately, I don't. I got it, like I said, the technology is getting smaller and better, so hopefully sooner rather than later.
Just be real careful, you're trying to watch the.
You don't have any as long as my size.
Oh, they come in all sorts of sizes, we can get one for you.
God.
Do you have
Once you sit there, move your chair, so
involved
don't miss it.
in the troop?
Actually, no, not yet, but we do have negotiators already.
No, it wasn't.
And,
Okay.
it's not that, I don't think it has anything to do with being a woman. I just think that in our areas where, our rural areas, we don't have that many
Picture it on you for.
female deputies, period. You know, that there would be that much interest, but I of course see it happening. I mean, it's not like we're against it or anything. It's just so far, all we've had was guys sign up for it.
He said he didn't give his father a ticket.
You have a question?
Do you know Chuck Cole, Wellington?
Chuck, what's his name?
Cole.
Chuck Cole, I know Kim Cole.
Oh, maybe it's Kim.
Kim's the county sheriff.
Okay, that's my nephew.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Yep, we get along very,
He
very
said
well.
he didn't even give his mother a ticket.
I'll have to ask him that. He might, I don't know.
Well, that's what he said. And then I have one in Detroit that works as a sheriff too. A nephew.
Did anybody have any other questions for Brandon?
Let him rip, feel free.
Yeah, he's really good at this.
Yo, yes, sir.
I mean, he's very tactically sound.
Yeah.
When I lived in Shiawassee County, the sheriff, like John, is actually sheriff, he had his private car, and he witnessed a bank robbery. We had 3 black guys who were way out of place in Owasso, and he chased them 100 miles, I think, in his unmarked police car, but they unmarked home private car. So when they do that, can they make, if you have your private car, can it become a police car also? You have to put a light on like on Y50?
Well, I think you're gonna run into some liability issues if it's not like fully marked with decals and everything, and overheads and a siren. Because I know like our policy procedure, if we're gonna pursue anybody or run emergent to a call, we have to have visual, meaning the light bar,
Yeah.
as well as audio sirens going.
I think maybe he did. I'm not sure.
And I know a lot of case law and stuff comes down to is the vehicle completely marked where you would know that it was a police car by looking at it. You know,
Yeah.
is there decals on the side? Is the person
Well,
in it
the
in full uniform?
alleged bad guys knew when the sheriff, this guy like John there in his civilian clothes, took off after him, they had a pretty good idea. They
Oh,
were a
yeah.
cop. And because he was telling them to stop, and the story was at the time that he was with his wife, and he says, "Hand me my gun," and she says, "What?" Glove compartment, there's a big 45 in there. Like, I didn't know you carried that.
Hopefully, if our sheriff did that, he'd be nice enough to let his wife get out first, then chase after the bad guy instead of keeping her there with him.
No, that's so. I guess she had the scare of her life.
Oh, I bet. That's scary stuff sometimes.
Yeah, they went from Shiawassee County into
Sorry?
Saginaw.
The shoes look comfortable.
They are actually.
They sure do.
They look
do.
very.
Oh, yeah, they're nice.
Probably don't wanna pay the price.
No, but the, like I said, they have drain holes in them. I wear them in the winter months, or the summer months rather, in case, you know, we go through water or whatever, they'll drain the water off so you don't slosh around.
Really?
Um,
Wow.
But these ones are really lightweight. Obviously in the wintertime, we don't dress like this because we use snow camo for one, and we put on a whole bunch of layers. I've actually been in some call-outs where it's been extremely, extremely cold, like 16 degrees with a wind chill of, you know, under -0, so.
Do they furnish those or do you have to buy them?
We get a cleaning and equipment allowance every year, $400 goes towards, you know, if we want to buy boots or whatever you want, the county gives us that, so we utilize that mostly for our boots and stuff. I would take off the boots when I feel with these things, so I don't want to do that. There's a lot of sweat ran through these in 5 years.
You take them off and throw it at the bad guy.
Yeah, exactly. They can be used as a distraction device, yes.
Yeah,
Got rid of that.
that's gassing them or something.
Right. But no, like I said, not everything we do ends in a shooting or a bad situation. We actually have a lot of good calls where they end peacefully just the way we want them to. Another thing, dogs. We don't like harming dogs, so if we know that there's a dog inside a residence, one of our guys will actually carry a fire extinguisher and spray the dog with a fire extinguisher, and usually that scares the crap out of them, and they run to somewhere else in the house, and we can. So we are pet friendly as well.
So what kind of dog you getting, a German Shepherd?
Most likely a German Shepherd. If it's not a German Shepherd, it's going to be a Belgian Malinois, which is similar to a Shepherd, it's just smaller. They actually, I don't know if Sheriff knows this yet, but they actually got postponed a whole month.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the guy who trains us that we got our dog from had an emergency in the family. His mother fell and broke her back. He had to fly back from Poland, which is where he goes to buy the dogs.
Yeah.
And he had to fly back emergency to help out with his mom. So everything got pushed forward a month. So it's not until May 5th I pick up the dog instead of April 5th. And then we start the training in May and June.
Now, why do you have to go out of the county to get a dog? They don't have good ones? I mean, out of the country?
That's where they're trained.
Well, actually, yes, there's people who breed them and train them here in the United States. However, the whole premise of actually utilizing dogs in police work or service, even military and everything, dates back as far as like World War I or earlier. And it was originated over Germany, Poland, over that way. So that's where they originated, and that's where they have the best bloodlines and like I said, the dogs that we get, sometimes we get them, they can be trained in Dutch, because that's where they were trained. They can be trained in Polish, which I'm pretty confident mine would be all commands in Polish, so it's coming from Poland. But that's just where, plus, it's a German Shepherd, obviously it originated in Germany, so. But yes, there are some of the states here, stateside, that people do utilize and everything, but this guy just goes right to the source that, they've been using them for hundreds of years there and training them, and he thinks that's the best way to go.
Will that dog be your pet?
Yep, he'll be my pet, my partner. He'll be in court with me.
So you have kids in the house, he plays with the kids and all that?
Yes, yep,
Just a dog?
yep. I mean, I'm sure if somebody came in the house aggressively or something, he would, act accordingly just because he's trained to do such a thing. But, I mean, all the dogs we've had in the past, and, I mean, you can take them in schools and stuff, and the kids can pet them and everything. They're not, like, just trained killers. They're actually, they know when to turn it on and off, and they know when you're telling them to work and when not to work, and things like that. Yes, ma'am?
Will he bark in Polish?
Really, what?
Bark in Polish?
Bark?
You might.
That's good.
Just kidding.
I got a question for the sheriff.
Go on, you go first.
Okay, the county has assigned just one of these units like that, and the county paid for it. Was there state and federal money to
Well,
purchase it?
as far as vest goes, that came from the county. These tasers were actually bought on a grant that came from federal funding and some of the 2% money from revenue sharing. The helmets came from a grant, a Homeland Security grant through the federal government. But some of the startup stuff, like I said, the county pays for, but a lot of the specialized equipment like one of the robots we got was $30,000. I mean, and that was paid for with grant money. Obviously, no local counties can afford that type of stuff, but a lot of it is, like I said, a lot of it is paid by grants and everything, and some of it is funded by the county, or funded initially by the county and reimbursed by grant money. You guys are easy crowd. Do you have any hard questions?
Let's see. What type of weapons do the bad guys use that scares you? You're always prepared for. What is the one that?
I guess a big thing, like I said, we run into is the unknown of what somebody does to their house prior to us entering. Like I said, there for a while we had people leaving out all their gas and everything. So if we did use something that caused a spark, I mean, it could be pretty catastrophic. As a matter of fact, we had a call out in Kalkaska County, and it was 3 years ago, middle of winter. A guy had killed his wife and his father-in-law. And he thought the police were behind him in an unmarked car, but they weren't. And he panicked and he drove to what he thought was an abandoned farmhouse, but there was a lady living inside, and he took her hostage. And he was ex-military, and he had all the same stuff we had. He had a ballistic vest, he had night vision, he had made pipe bombs, he had made tripwires, he had sniper rifles, all sorts of weapons and ammo and everything. And that's the stuff that's scary, because then you're gonna, then you're trying to utilize your stuff against somebody who has the same training, if not better training than us. And thankfully that one ended peacefully. He came out, and he's doing life in prison now, obviously, but he came out peacefully and everything. But that stuff's the scary stuff, like I said. Not that one gun's more dangerous than the other, but handguns are a lot more inaccurate. You can't shoot them as far, and our vests and stuff to stop them. But like I said, here in the northern counties and stuff, everybody's been raised, just about everybody's been raised hunting and fishing and stuff, so everybody's got a deer rifle with a scope on it. And a lot of, they want to shoot you with it 250 yards away, they probably can, so that's scary too. But biggest thing is our biggest high-risk calls are barricaded gunmen aren't really that inherently dangerous, and I'll say that with the caveat of it's just one person in there threatening to harm themselves, okay? That's their prerogative, we're going to do our best to get them out of there safely. Conversely, if we have a hostage situation where there's somebody in there that's an innocent that doesn't want to be there, that possibly could get harmed, them are a lot more high risk, and things get turned up a lot faster because we got to worry about somebody in there that's in the victim's seat.
I got a controversial question. Do you think that people under 21 years old should have military weapons, only military weapons, under 21?
I guess it's my personal belief.
Personal, or what do you think as far as tactical, or whatever, from the police point of view, your point of view, what do you think of, you know, they are young people and they have access to extremely deadly weapons? Do you think that they should be allowed to?
I personally, I do, because I've been around, I mean, any weapons, any gun's a deadly weapon. And when you start using terms like military weapon, okay, what makes it a military weapon? I mean, for instance, this is a .223 caliber M4. They also make this in a bolt-action gun that people use for coyote hunting. Now, if I see a kid with a bolt-action version of this, I'm not necessarily going to freak out as much if I see a kid with an M16 looking version of this. However, if they were born and raised the way I was, you know, they're no more dangerous holding that gun than if they were holding a butter knife, you know. But 18 years old, you can go into the military and handle these every day. You know, and so I think it wholeheartedly comes down to, you know, the way people were raised. And the other thing is, if people want to find something deadly, they're going to find something deadly to do something inherently terrible. It doesn't need to be a gun. I mean, we've seen on the news people taking a car and running through protesters, running over with a semi, kill 30 people that fast. If they want to harm somebody or cause damage or do a terrorist act, it doesn't necessarily have to be a gun. They'll find something. But I just hope it gets better before it gets worse. It's getting commonplace every day we're seeing it. Yes, sir.
I've read and been told that 50% of all gun deaths are suicide. Is that accurate?
50% of all gun deaths are suicide? I don't know exactly, but I would say pretty close.
And then another one that the most common use of guns and weapons and homicide are knives.
Yeah, well, they're more accessible. Everybody has a knife in their house. Everyone.
Yeah.
You think about it. Not everybody might have a gun, but everybody has a knife. Yeah, I can tell you this. Every year, we have way more deaths caused by suicide than we do, you know, homicide or...
In Manistee County.
Yep, or probably, I would go as far, I can tell you, I would say we have more suicides than we have vehicle deaths, like car accidents and stuff as well.
You're kidding?
Nope. Not necessarily all of them are utilize a gun when they do it, but I would say, I could almost guarantee you that in the 11 years I've been here, and I'm sure the sheriff would back me up, regarding deaths, there's probably more people per year in our county that die due to suicide than gun shootings or even vehicle accidents. I would say way more.
Absolutely. The gun issue is just a hot ticket item right now. And so you can sit and debate it back and forth because I see all sides of it. But I still go back to the Second Amendment, what it's there for, okay? It's not the gun. Someone's pulling that trigger. That doesn't mean they couldn't get a knife, they couldn't go get a saw, they couldn't get a drill, they could do anything. And then we're just gonna ban everything? And so it goes, to me, I always say it's like a house of cards. Okay, this house is built. If you take one of those cards out, which we've taken out a lot of things, that house crumbles. We've taken a lot of things out. We've taken the pledge out of our schools. We've taken discipline out of schools. We've taken God out of our schools. We've taken, I mean, think about it. And all these things. And then you have homes that they're broken homes. Maybe there's not parents there. Not on purpose. Sometimes they have to work. I get that. But you take all these combinations of things. You know, then you have bullying. And bullying is getting taken care of. Our parents taking care of that. At home. Disciplining their kids before they send them to school. Our school's taking care of it. It's just, there's all these cards. And it's crumbling. Fast. And just to blame it on one thing, I just don't think that's right. That's my own personal opinion. So, we could sit and make law after law after law. And again, eventually, this was just on the news about the bags. They said, well, let's make the bags be see-through and clear. The bags that they carry their books.
Yeah.
And one of the student marchers said that's against my rights. The same one marching for gun control. So it's just, you could sit and debate it for hours, maybe years. We are a long way away from fixing things.
But what's changed? What's changed in the last 30 years when this never occurred and all of a sudden,
Right.
now it's occurred? There's something that's changed that allows a person to be willing to do these terrible acts that they've never.
Discipline.
Well, the only other thing I didn't mention, sir, is the mental health component. I think we've really failed there. Now, a lot of people will say because we blamed, Traverse City closed their shops, and that's all true. But right now, just this last 2 months, we've had 5 people in our facility that have no business being in there. We cannot help a mentally challenged person if they're on medications, because we have to take everything to keep them safe. So they're locked in these 4 walls all day long. How are we helping them? But yet they say it's safer to be here. No, it's not. I don't want them in my jail, and I've been fighting this for the last several months. And this is across this country. We have nowhere to take these people who need help. And so that is a critical part, because when you get some of this bullying back in the early, I think we start getting some mental health training there. If we get some kids and counselors to see kids earlier on. That's just one part of it. One part.
Another thing I'll say, as far as I'm concerned, when I was a 6th grader, I went to Brotherhood High School, and when I was a 6th grader, we actually had a student bring a gun to school. And that was before Columbine, before all that. It ended peacefully. He brought the gun to school, and he went to the bathroom by himself. They talked him out. But nowadays with social media, you think about it, back when you guys were kids, if something happened at the school you went to, would a school in Detroit know that it happened there? Would a school in Colorado know that it happened there? No, nowadays it's immediately plastered on all social media, Facebook, Twitter, all this stuff.
Yeah.
So that kids see that and plants a seed. Well, this guy, look at all the attention he's getting.
Yeah.
Whereas if it happened, it would be a localized event, it would be taken care of locally, and it wouldn't get the press, it wouldn't get the popularity that it gets now. And yeah, I think that doesn't help at all either.
Could it be overwhelming knowledge of everything occurring here all the time before people didn't have all this? They didn't know what was going, as you said, going on in another state. And this is overwhelming the brain, that it's actually inspiring other people to do things that are on the margin. I don't know.
Well, then think about this. If you say you want to do some heinous act, some terrible act, but you're a common person like all of us in this room that don't know anything about making a bomb, let's just say. You can go on the internet and punch that in, and you can become a bomb maker overnight. Everything's right there at your fingertips. You want to figure out how to do a mass shooting, you can punch that in there and it'll tell you, oh, this is the best, most effective way to get the most kills you can get. All that's right at your fingertips. And that's what kids from this, I see kids all the time walking on their parents' phone or tablet, or right then and there, and they're already starting. We didn't have, you didn't have that stuff when you were a kid. It wasn't planted in your brain, oh, I can just grab that and I can look up whatever I want. Yeah, hopefully it's how to make Play-Doh or something as your kid, but it starts that young, and it's just utilized from there on out the rest of their lives. Yes, ma'am?
Don't you think the discipline has something to do with it too as they're growing up?
I do.
The kids are raising themselves nowadays, it seems.
Well, the kids are raising themselves and we're raising the parents, because we have to babysit the parents first. And
Yes.
no, it is. It's scary. And I hear a lot on the road, and it really sticks in my craw. And I hear all the time, I go to a complaint, well, I can't discipline my son or I'll go to jail. Okay, now just,
terrible.
let's wait a second here, okay? I was disciplined as a kid, all right? And John's known me since I was 5 years old. John knows I was disciplined as a kid. I never went to jail. Within reason, you can still discipline your kids. That's just a cop-out that they use to not be a parent to just call us to come do it.
Right.
And it's a shame.
Right. Discipline and respect.
Oh, yes.
Respect has gone down the hill.
I agree. Yeah, I have a kid. I have a newborn kid right now. He's 6 months old. I'm scared to death where this world's going to be when he's my age, or when he's in high school and I have to be a parent. And it shouldn't be that way, It should be you're looking forward to all that stuff. But like you said, it seems like it's one thing after another. You turn on the TV, it's this, it's that, it's Russia, it's China, it's everything. And it's like, geez Louise, did I make a big mistake here by bringing a kid into this world? Or
The kids have a tech advantage over us, and it's a possibility if they ever got together, they could take us over. It's possible.
Besides that, they're smarter than we are.
That's what I mean, they have that technical.
Well, they're very tech savvy.
Oh, yeah, oh, yes.
Well, I can tell you this, there's smart and there's common sense smart. And I can guarantee you guys have them all beat in that. Because you can be as good as you want to be on a computer, you can design a bridge on a computer, but if you don't know the simple things of manners, respect, work ethic, and all that stuff, you might as well forget about it.
Yeah.
There was a book I read back in the 1960s called The Butterfly Revolution, which seemed kind of unrealistic. Possible, but not unrealistic today. But you should read that book. It's kind of interesting how the kids take over. And I don't know about now.
Yeah? Yes, sir.
I was talking to somebody the other day, and John, I was trying not to be a smartass, okay? And I said, why don't we just make it illegal to murder people?
Yeah.
And they said Exodus 20, like, the Bible? What's Exodus 20 say? 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not murder. Like, whoa! So all these rules that we got now are just,
That's just
Was that good?
all not banning things. We have a speed limit. I mean, how many people we see today speeding? It doesn't just because it's there doesn't mean stop.
Yeah, how many people text and drive and get in accidents all the time?
Yeah.
All the time. They don't try to take away our cars. They're killing people. It
There are
happens
people,
every day.
there are people that are actually walking across. One person actually was crossing over the Washington Street. The girl was, and I actually grabbed her because she was walking, reading her
Her tablet or phone.
And look, I don't know if she would have been hit by the car, but it was like she's going against the light.
Right, too close for comfort.
That's good. That stuff is. I think that's an addictive thing. I think it is. It's an addiction.
Well, thank you, Brandon, for everything. Anybody with anything else? Because if not, we're gonna close up here.
I didn't have any more
Walking back here.
Hey, I'm listening,
Oh, okay.
I get back and listen.
Do you have any questions?
You're new here. Well, how many people?
Hey, Judy.
Hello. Come
Hey.
join the march, Mike.
Well, you can see they're crossing the highway bridge. Actually, quite a few walkers here today. Amazing how far the sound of that one snare drum can go. Are you counting the people? You can count them when they get here. Might be thought the drummer was towards the back, but now it seems like he's moved up quite a ways. Maybe they got drummer able to join him in the middle of the march. Police. It is cold out here. I have wool pants on. The legs are still cold. What's that sign say? Vote? I don't know why they don't just outlaw killing. Oh, I guess they did. Exodus 20. Thou shalt not murder. Get money out of politics.
You don't have to sound on it, do you?
Yeah. Wait, copyright.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should tell these people that I support the NRA. Maybe I should. There's no such thing as an assault weapon in civilian hands. They are semi-automatics. Never again. Kids first. Man, there's a lot of people on this walk. I'm surprised. winter coat. I won't need it. I guess I was wrong, wasn't I? At least I did have the gloves. There's a Fido dog, also known as Gruff. Does not answer to his name, like my cat. That's it.
I'm 4'11", so this is an issue. Hi, I'm Marcelina. I live in Ludington. I don't actually live in Manistee, but this is the closest one, so I drove all this way. I want to let you guys know that what you're doing is truly incredible. It really is. And I'm not actually from this area. I lived in New York. I moved here very recently. But this is an extremely important issue to me because when I was 14 years old, a school just outside my school district was the victim of a shooting. I lived 25 miles from Sandy Hook Elementary School. And I came home after school that day. I was only 14 years old. I saw what had happened, and I walked the mile to my sister's elementary school, and I waited for her there. And I don't think anyone should ever have to feel that scared, ever again. And when I saw what happened in Florida, kids my age are taking a stand, finally. And it's amazing. I have so much respect for them and for you. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving us a voice. Even though some of us can't vote yet, we can soon. And we will use our vote very, very well. Thank you.
And we have to remember that all of us here are voters. We need to keep that in mind. And this year is an important election year, and I expect all of you to show up at the polls, okay? All right. And bring some people that you don't normally vote. Drag them in, because we have to deal with this important issue. And we have two